The end of 911 Season 8 left fans heartbroken, especially after the devastating loss of Captain Bobby Nash. His emotional death hit the entire team hard, but no one felt it quite like Buck. Actor Oliver Stark, who plays Buck, recently opened up about how this huge event will shake Buck to his core and might push him to finally grow up in a way we haven't seen before. As 911 prepares to launch Season 9, Bobby's absence won't just be a moment of grief. It could be the moment that changes Buck forever. From the very beginning of the show, Buck has always been the guy who jumps headfirst into danger without thinking twice. He's brave, charming, and emotional, but sometimes reckless and immature. Over the seasons, we've seen him slowly mature, especially through tough life experiences. But now, with Bobby gone, Oliver Stark thinks this might be the turning point that truly transforms Buck into a new version of himself. In a recent interview, Stark shared his thoughts about where Buck could go in Season 9. He hopes that Bobby's death isn't just a sad moment, but a wake-up call that helps Buck find a deeper sense of purpose. According to Stark, Buck has already come a long way, but there's still more growing up to do. Losing Bobby, someone Buck saw as a mentor, a father figure, and even a compass for doing the right thing, might finally push Buck into becoming more grounded and mature. Stark doesn't know exactly what this new Buck will look like yet, but he's excited about the possibilities. This idea makes a lot of sense if you look at how things ended in Season 8. Buck was clearly struggling after Bobby's death. The team was falling apart, and Buck seemed especially lost. In one of the final episodes, viewers saw how deeply shaken he was, not just because of grief, but because of the fear that their family at Station 118 might never be the same again. It's moments like these that could become the emotional fuel for a major character shift in Season 9. Of course, it's not just about Buck dealing with sadness. It's about what comes next. And that's where things could get really interesting. With Bobby no longer around to lead the team, Buck might have to step up in ways he never has before. Will he take on more responsibility? Will he become someone others can rely on? Or will the grief break him before he has the chance to grow? These are all open questions that Season 9 could explore. There's also another angle to this story that fans can't stop talking about: Buddie. Throughout Season 8, it looked like the show was slowly setting up a romantic storyline between Buck and Eddie. Buck's sister Maddie noticed it. His ex-boyfriend Tommy noticed it. Even fans picked up on the chemistry that's been there for years. But with Bobby's death taking over the final episodes, that possible love story was put on pause. Now, as we head into Season 9, that storyline might return, but it will be shaped by a very different Buck. If Buck really does mature the way Stark hopes he will, his relationships, especially with Eddie, could look very different. It's not just about who he loves, but how he approaches love, friendship, and life in general. A more thoughtful and self-aware Buck could finally figure out what he wants and go after it with clarity. That doesn't mean Buddie is guaranteed, but it does mean the dynamic between them will probably shift. Another thing to think about is how Season 9 might reverse or change some of the choices made in previous seasons. 911 has a habit of resetting things. Just look at Season 7, which undid many of the emotional arcs from Season 6. So it's totally possible that some of the storylines we're expecting to return might get sidelined again. But based on Oliver Stark's comments, it seems like the writers want to use Bobby's death as a serious, long-term turning point for Buck's character. And if that's the case, Season 9 could finally be the time when Buck stops being the emotional wildcard and starts becoming someone who's truly stable. That might sound less exciting, but it's actually a great opportunity to deepen the character. Buck's always been lovable because of his emotional highs and lows. But now, fans might get to see what happens when he finally finds balance. There's also the fact that Buck has moved out of Eddie's house and is now searching for a new place to live. That simple detail from the end of Season 8 might be a hint about his journey too. Maybe Buck is ready to stand on his own, not just physically but emotionally. Finding his own space could represent his first real step toward independence, which ties in perfectly with Stark's hope for a more grounded Buck. And let's not forget, shows like 911 often use big events like a character death to push everyone into new storylines. So even though this change is mostly about Buck, it will affect the whole team. Relationships will shift. Roles within the team may be reassigned. New leaders could emerge. And through it all, Buck could be one of the key players shaping what comes next. What's clear is that Bobby meant a lot to Buck, not just as a firefighter but as a person. Bobby believed in Buck when no one else did. He gave him purpose. He gave him structure. Without that steady presence, Buck will have to figure out who he is on his own. And maybe that's the final step in Buck becoming the man he's always wanted to be. Of course, 911 being the emotional roller coaster it is, Buck's journey probably won't be smooth. He's going to stumble. He might lash out. He might retreat from those closest to him. But all of that could be part of the growth process. After all, real change doesn't happen in a straight line. It's messy. It hurts. And it often catches us off guard. Fans who have watched Buck since the first season know how far he's already come. From being the reckless hotshot who clashed with Bobby, to becoming someone who truly values his team and their mission, Buck has evolved in powerful ways. Now, with Bobby's death marking the end of one chapter, Season 9 is the beginning of another. Whether or not Buck ends up with Eddie, or takes on a leadership role, or just finds peace within himself, what matters is that he's ready for the next phase of his life. And from what Oliver Stark is saying, that next phase is going to be emotional, powerful, and possibly the most important storyline Buck has ever had. Season 9 of 911 has the potential to reshape everything we thought we knew about Buck. It's a chance for the writers to dig deeper, to challenge the character in new ways, and to give fans the payoff they've been waiting for. Bobby's death may have broken the team, but it also might be the thing that finally helps Buck become whole. Only time will tell how far 911 is willing to go with Buck's transformation. But one thing is certain, when the show returns, fans should be ready for an entirely new version of Buck, one shaped by grief, growth, and the memory of a man who meant everything to him.